Welcome back to the Real Double Dose channel. This is your host Lex coming to you straight from the heart where the talk is real and the vibe is always live, as we have always said thus far. For any show requests or feedback or anything under the sun that you want to speak about or share or have questions answered about like you have been, and we love your support, you can reach us at Real Double Dose channel at yandex.com. That's yandex.com, and as well as the Real Double Dose channel.blogspot.com, where you can check out our wonderful links and pages and so much more in the About Me section at the end of the blog, with links to our wonderful book series and so much more, and our disclaimers and music rights and a little extra too. So wonderful pages throughout that blog spot. And we do have a realdoubledosechannel.com, and like I said before, that's going to be set up to awesome prizes and giveaways and so much more as well. You can check us out on TuneIn, Stitcher Radio, Spreaker.com, Spotify.com, Blueberry.com, iHeartRadio, iTunes, SoundCloud, and many more other channels. If I'm forgetting it, it's somewhere in those links, but I'm trying to give it to you all impactful for one. We do have vacation giveaways coming up, and we do have gift card giveaways, and our partner at GiveMeAllThat.com that's relaunching is going to have wonderful apparel and swag that you can have for free just for being a part of the RDC Family's Nation. Yes, and our YouTube series will be coming out, and it might be just some of these episodes replayed on there for the YouTube audience, but I will have Anthony and different guests showing up too, to be kind of just live and direct, just to see who else is out there on YouTube who wants to join and who don't go on these airwaves that we're on right now. We love you. We appreciate you. And let's get this wonderful episode started, which is hashtag not in vain. You heard it right. Hashtag not in vain. Now, I want to be a little bit more clear when I say not in vain. Hashtag that is not in vain is basically what we need to get into. And I've been looking into this episode to come up before the food poisoning, quote, anxiety episode, I call it, because it has to do something with my nerves since the double funerals last year, making me like that. Unless it's the dairy. I'm just saying, I think dairy has a lot to do with the certain dairies that mix up. And my anxiety as well. And definitely, it's been a roller coaster between that down and out for 4 days, then getting back up barely, to having my molars removed with a drill and 3 hours of surgery, and coming up, I'm sorry, it came out to be a little bit of a miniature dentist massacre from me basically cracking my molar in two. It did come out successfully by the grace of the Creator, and oxycodone was needed, so that took me out again. So, but look at that. I'm still bouncing, still standing, still strong by the grace of all that created us. Yes, I am, and I'm coming back to you with all that I have and all that we have with Angela, Anthony, and all of us, and giving you more of a perspective from them. I want 2020 to be a whole new, and the ending of this year too, if we can, but I want it to be a collaborative whole of different people from the voices that stand behind me, that you can start hearing as well, more in the forefront. They like to be in the background, but I think now they have their feeding to be there, and we're going on year 4 next year, I believe, or at least around that area. So it's time to kind of get that. But hashtag not in vain is basically a montage of knowing that when I started looking at different things that were going on, I had to really kind of not necessarily dig inside myself, but I looked at it and I'm like, well, we were created for more than one thing. And a lot of people will say, well, Lex, you say the Creator, you say the forces of everything. Regardless if you're into Buddhism, regardless if you're into, a certain type of yoga, spirituality, whatever it might be, I know that Christ, or the divinity of all this, I know that the Creator came down in human form. You have to know what this experience is like if you're going to be creating something to live that experience. That's my factual opinion. You don't have to agree with it, and no one has to agree with you, as long as you understand where you are in your journey of understanding what is and what made you and all that it is, period. So to that, I just basically say, hey, not in vain. The creation of all that is, and Christ dying for all that we are, or reliving this experience and being persecuted for being nothing but love and harmony, and teaching the way of the truth and the light. What are we doing with the life that we've been given? Right? Not in vain. Hashtag not in vain means, what are we doing with our parents who sacrificed for us to get here? Or our adoptive parents, or our aunties or uncles or grandmas or grandpas, whoever was our parent figure in our life, or a mentor, or anyone for that matter. What are we doing with it? When we see a baby last a couple breaths, and all of a sudden they get to a point to where someone's 91 years old in life, it's extraordinary measures just for the fact that that child was born to begin with, or was chosen to be in the womb. And it's extraordinary, even more measures, to see someone go through all the hellions of life and the obstacle courses and make it to 99, let alone 50. So I want to ask us, hashtag not in vain means, what are you doing that's not in vain? If you're sitting there and we are sitting there twiddling our fingers and twiddling our heads, not out of just sheer confusion or frustration, but just because we think we have so much time to think about the time that we think we have later, what are we doing that is in vain? What are we doing that is basically just wasting our moments and our precious time away? So when we do bounce into it 10 years later, we only had 3 years left. We were supposed to do it that whole 10 years. We just laid back and just kind of let everything distract us and take us away. That's the scary part for me. And when I was talking to Anthony, when I was talking to my Zeus, it wasn't a whole understanding of just getting to the point of, man, well, I don't feel like it today. Hey, we need some days. It takes a lot of momentum. It takes a lot of G-force. It takes a lot of that inertia to get things going. It's a lot of energy created into that collaborative whole. But what I will say is, when we're just sitting there not accelerating all that we are and moving into the planes of what we can be, it doesn't mean you have to be the world's superhero. It just means you have to be a superhero to yourself. To know that when your breath goes away and it goes back to which it came, we're not sitting there in vain, lollygagging around saying we don't know our purpose. At this day and age, there's something to know. No matter what age you are in this day and age, there's something to find out and discover. There's something passionate about. Even if it's knitting scarves, give some away. Donate some. Create some and create a website if you want to. If you don't know how to do that, get a hold of us and we'll try to help you through the journey for free. There you go. But there's always a way. There's always a time. There's always a frequency out there that's calling and majestically speaking out to each and every one of us. We were put here for not only for us to enjoy as separate entities, but we're all one entity combined through the Creator itself and themselves to experience the life through us. And we replicate that by giving birth or giving another human being that life that we wish we had, or we're trying to give them a different way of teaching them. And it basically gives them a whole replication of life that we see ourselves reflected in somehow. So people say, well, why was I created? I don't understand the journey of my life, Lex. And to that I say, thank God I was created. Thank God I was given this opportunity, no matter what it comes through. And it extraordinary measures. I see this wonderful, I forgot her name. I should remember it, but it's just still fresh. She has her own YouTube channel, and she's just a pretty young lady, and she has no arms, but she moves and does everything with her feet. If I could do that with my sciatica at this point without having a cramp, oh, bless her soul. But she does everything with it. I mean, she just gets up looking all bright, and I'm sure she has her days, but at the same time, she's not doing it in vain. She's like, look, I'm still going to school. I'm still doing what I have to do. I'm still writing and doing everything with classes and her feet and whatever else, but she's still doing it. And everyone else, like it's no excuse. It's no cap hole to live life in vain. And at the end of the day, even people sitting up there who can still give their words, the words can move. People who are there can just give a feeling of comfort. Give something to life. Don't just think that life happened to you. You're happening to life, right? Life is here no matter what we do. When we leave and when we come and go, life is still going to be here. After we leave and before, life is still life, because life is the creator of all things. So after we didn't, life didn't just happen to us. We happened to life, and life is here to be exactly the way it is. And circumstances manipulated, things happen, circumstances happen, but that's the game of life. Everything is a board of some kind of Monopoly, some kind of Jumanji, some kind of taboo. Whatever it is, I know it's easier said than done for a lot of us. But ultimately, what are you doing in vain? What are you doing? What are we doing? I know a lot of things that I've been discovering that I'm doing in vain. And that comes from the form of not being able to produce what I want because of my own fears. And I'm thinking that the whole thing I just said about, man, Lex, what if you were only given 25 years left and you've already taken up 15 years? I mean, what if? And that's a big, scary notion. I mean, I'm not saying death itself is scary, because we don't know what it is except a beautiful sleep until the kingdom comes. But ultimately, we don't know if those seeds. That means I'm going to be dying more fuller than I did it. I wanted to empty. So yeah, let's think about that for a moment. And it could not be it either. I mean, I could have a whole nother 50 some odd years ahead of me, or about 50 some odd years ahead of me, something on that spectrum. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, I still, didn't do 30 years worth of stuff I was supposed to do. And it's not the whole pressure of life. It's the whole point of making sure we put down the things in life to take off more pressure, to be able to help put this painting and this beautiful landscape together with what gems and resources and diamonds within us that we're supposed to do. We can all be the best of our supreme beings once we acknowledge the supreme being within us. We can all harness everything that is harnessing us in order to be our best and to give out what we can in our wisdom. Everyone has a story and everyone has glory. Everyone has a downfall and everyone has tears fall. There's always something to give, and there's always something you could say. Always something to be done. Even if it's just tapping someone on the shoulder in a grocery store and saying, hey, I just want to let you know you're a wonderful person, and walk away. You don't have to stop. You don't have to give any game. It could just be that. Or just going up and having someone, hey, sorry, I just want to cut in front of you. Here's $5. I'm going to pay for their ice cream. Anything could change that. And if you don't have that, hey, I just wanted to say, hey, hello. Just wanted to see how your day is going. Okay, well, thank you very much. It doesn't have to be material form, but it's not living a life in vain. Start, and let's do this. Let's start like really invigorating ourselves. Let's start really channeling that understanding of who we are, and stop being so afraid to come from behind a lens. Stop being so afraid to stop making the filters happen. Stop being so afraid to not have everything on tape and videos and Instagram uploads and all kinds of stuff. It's cool and it's wonderful, to experience and share those things. Don't get me wrong. But a friend of mine and I were talking, and he's in beautiful Michigan right now, my birthplace, Detroit, boom. He was talking about, we're talking about, people taking photos and different things. I forgot where it was going. But ultimately, I'm pretty sure you heard about this. A couple had passed away, God rest their souls, because they had went on some cliff trying to get this ultimate shot for their Instagram feed or whatever it was, and they had fell off the cliff. And I think the camera caught some things that happened once it was recovered. That's sad. They definitely made sure they got that last shot in, but it was the last shot they'd ever take on this plane. And I bet you in that moment they didn't think, man, this is it. This is our last photo. And I'm pretty sure if they would have known, hopefully they wouldn't have went for that photo. But the whole thing is, some things aren't meant to be shared like that. Some things are just meant to be living and lived in the moment. So what I say to you is, let's spend more time instead of being, well, I feel the same way. This applies to me and all of us. This is not just to you, family. We're a family, okay? And I hear more clarity from hearing this myself when I do hear it over again. And the whole understanding of what I'm trying to really, really break down is not only just being in our best life and being in our best self in order to perpetuate forward, and not being in vain to the point of we're just literally dwindling in a way on watching repeat episodes of something. There's nothing wrong with indulging, but just overindulgence needs to be maintained. But it's like the mustard seed that's planted in previous episodes. What mustard seed and what seeds are we planting to do all that is? I might have repeated this before, but I'm not sure. And it was basically saying when a flea jumps, I forgot exactly who said that. I don't know if it was, I think it was Steve Harvey that I heard it on, but I heard it a few times before then, that it was, the flea jumps at a 360 degree angle or something like that. Don't quote me on it. And once they put that flea inside of a jar, that flea keeps trying to bounce and hit itself over and over trying to get out because it has that huge high jump. I think over us, at 6 feet something tall, he was saying. And at the same time, after a while, it learns how not to jump beyond that jar. And so it has babies. And the babies in that have learned from the parents' conditioning now to only jump and move so far, all right? Only staying in that jar range, not using their full capability and capacity at 360 degrees. Same thing for an oak tree or a seed tree. You put the seed tree in a little, container or a little bowl and only let it grow so far, it never has the capacity to be that oak tree. It'll grow into something, but not what it was supposed to be by its environment that has been given to it to accentuate on. So let's always take a look around us and see what we are not expanding on. and seeing what kind of environment we're putting ourselves in. Are we putting ourselves in a jar? Are we putting ourselves in a small pot to not expand and not grow? Are we limiting ourselves because we don't believe in ourselves enough? And ultimately, we actually believe that we do live forever, because we're not trying to think about the day we do go, because we have no pace on the time or hour. But we're literally like kind of saying we do, because we're not even taking a threshold. But I tell you, false evidence appearing real is nerve-wracking for me. Fear, okay? And I was like, oh, I don't have it like that. But yes, I do, because honestly, for me, allowing setbacks to happen, I know things happen. I'm human flesh. Spiritual beings, human flesh. I get it. But I've been allowing, sometimes I'm like, oh, I could be doing this, and I don't push it past. And depression's a real thing. Being down's a real thing. And reality of life, it definitely will hit you hard when you don't expect it. But at the same time, even though I'm bouncing back, I could be bouncing back harder. I could be pushing more stronger. And it's all about the momentum. No matter what tries to hold me back, mechanic shops, arguing with people, trying to get my point across, getting in traffic, trying to get lunch, having someone upset me, having myself upset myself, or an upset stomach. No matter what it is, it's all about not living in vain. Hashtag not in vain means doing the fullest of what you can for those and all that is that has invested in our life here right now, have given us a chance to be able to be ourselves and live the life of the simulation of life, not the matrix of life of what has been created for us to live in by man itself necessarily, but understanding where you are from the outside of the matrix and living the simulation of life that was given to us by the Creator, and forwarded over to our parents, who gave us another kind of life into this world via their bodies from the Creator's gift. That's what I mean. So without further ado, I hope this hits home deep inside all of us. I appreciate all you who are out there doing on-demand plays and downloads and wonderful things like that on all these different platforms. You are most loved, okay? Family, we love you so much. And I can't even say that more than anything, because I'm just giving exactly what was given to me to share with all of us, including myself. And that's what we do here at the RDDC team and RDDC Nation. That's what we are, the Real Double Dose channel. So be the change, feel the passion, embrace the power of the spirit, as we always say. And it's hashtag not in vain. Look at it and make the fullest of what it is, and never live in vain again if you are, to the best of your abilities. We love you, and thank you for tuning in as always. And we'll be back with you, lovely family, very, very soon.